culmination of Renegades upping their level while simultaneously TYLOO have hit the greatest wall yet, right? It really is kind of sad to see that first map fell on deaf ears so much from the side of TYLOO, but you've got to give props to Renegades. And now that we look to head into their map pick of Vertigo, one that's always been a bit of a staple of this team, one that they've always been able to play, both these squads at 100% win rate in the last 3 months here. Well, that's only going to keep up for one of them. And for TYLOO, it's their major lifeline all on the line. So a T-side start for the Renegades squad, and out towards mid early. It's a bit of a lurk for Sicko, top performer from the last game.
We do have Nanking all the way towards mid, a little quiet in the first map, but he'd be looking to try and redeem himself. A bit of a passive hold here towards the A side. Slowly, the only one looking to make contact. It is a bit of a retake setup, and he's going to draw first blood. Hats will fall, and Renegades, it does feel like a bit of a ruse here. You can see a couple of players waiting for TYLOO to try and flank around B stairs, and Attacker in an uncomfortable position there, but he will find Liaz, and it's an early 3v5 man advantage for TYLOO.
Yeah, how could this possibly go wrong, right? You're in such a good position.
Don't say that.
You would have to find a way to throw this one out the window. Alistair gonna leave the B ramp. Looking to rejoin with the rest of the team. I'm assuming just an A hit. Considering the limited utility, and when I say limited, I mean literally nothing. It's going to be a little rough. I'm pretty sure that's just a decoy. Yeah, it is just a decoy for Sicko. So you can pretend to flash your teammates in. You can pretend to flash TYLOO. But that's all you're going to be able to do here as they creep up through short. They've hit a pretty good timing. Slowly's checks didn't spot them till the last minute. However, TYLOO have already pulled everybody in towards this side of the map. Ins with the first. Oh my god. Oh dearie me. In the blink of an eye, 3 kills have come in. This was meant to be TYLOO's round. This was meant to be theirs. And now the bomb going down for Renegades. TYLOO, they're the ones on the retake in a 2-on-3.
Oh, okay, Attacker, he strikes a 1 versus 2 now for Alistair. He's going to try and play the bomb, but they know exactly where he is. They're just going to tap it here. They're going to face him, and none of his shots really connect. 7 and 44 HP. Harry, it should have been this close.
No!
It should not have been this close.
Oh, what a roller coaster of a pistol round. I don't know if I was ready for that one, player. Okay, right, let's just breathe for a moment. So yeah, really nice stuff for Renegades to even make that look doable, to even be the team in the advantageous position. But then, simultaneously, props to TYLOO for building back in to a 2-on-3 retake where they don't have any site control, they don't really have any util to flush players out, and they just win fight after fight to make it happen. Pistol rounds on Vertigo, man, they get pretty exciting, but now we're into the 4 spies. Renegades gonna grab some Galils, a MAC-10 on Liaz, bit of utility as well to try and make this play happen, and a lean towards B while still considering the other avenues on the map. Ins is holding a ramp, and up here in mid you've got Sicko just locking out that early mid info.
I can see the Galil's coming out to play, right? Like, although with the Galil buys utility, while they do have a decent bit to work with, I don't know if it's ample enough for them to really go for maybe a fake, right? Try and use the utility to kind of bait out TYLOO here. We got 3 smokes, a handful of flashbangs, no Molotovs. And that means they have enough for maybe a full-fledged execute.
Oh, I like it, actually. So they don't have a lot of smokes, as you pointed out. They had 3. They've thrown 1, which is like the big corridor smoke at ramp, to give the illusion that they're pushing behind it. And that's going to keep bodies over towards the A side of the map. Now you've got these other 2 smokes to lean into the B exec. They go up, they go over, they try to play contact early. Now those smokes land.
Molly. They've
got to flush out Attacker because he's causing them problems. And the longer this guy's allowed to stay alive, the more rotates start to pull over. Renegades, this has really drawn itself to a bit of an awkward spot here, grinding to a halt. Dan King will get dealt with on the wrap round, and with 30 seconds, there is a part of you that thinks maybe we go back to A now. They feign the footsteps, but it's not the commitment. They will be going back into B, and this is still where TYLOO have everyone.
This is a huge round for TYLOO. Just one player survives for the side of the Renegados, and Lias able to at least find one, but they will be taken down, and a couple of upgrades coming up. You know, for TYLOO, that's a fantastic round, right? Like, there was a full buy from the side of Renegades. They're going to be upgrading from one of the MP9s to the Galil as well, and they know it's going to be Farm City right now. We see the SMG in the hands of Mr. Danking coming out. So TYLOO, off to a pretty solid start here, all things considered. And for Renegades, I felt like they kind of got stuck there, right? Again, the lack of utility. They didn't have a Molotov to flush out attacker from his position. So once they knew where he was, they're like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah, right. That very much was the problem. It's like, okay, well, we've done our big master plan, and he's done the one thing that really does counter it. They got a little nade stack here, right? I like it. There's always like some purposeful investment, even in rounds like this. You've got the triple nades. Now you hear this Sandbags player. That is an invitation to lob those nades in, and I am shook at how little damage those nades did. They've glocked out Danking on a ramp push, but slowly should be here to just clean house. And yeah, it's nice, it's easy. He never even breaks a sweat. Also, homie got hit by 3 nades and took 19 damage, so we really are living in the upside down.
CSGO nades, man. Like, I know it's been a couple of years, like it's 3 years now at this point, where CSGO, Mr. CSGO, is like, we've fixed the nades, and they have fixed it for the majority of these situations.
It's
but sometimes
better. It's better.
It's better, but sometimes you're like, he should have taken more damage than that. But, all right. AWP will be dropped slowly. You know what? This is why I like slowly, right? You look at his team, like Attacker, oh, Summer, oh, Bented, Danking. You talk about all these stars in his team. But slowly is a workhorse for this lineup, right? He's the guy who's going to be dropping your weapons. He's the guy who's going to be going in for these hard entries, creating space, being the anchor, and just a safe pair of hands for this lineup. So he is one player I've enjoyed watching. And right now he is delivering, indeed, being kind of like taking this duel towards ramp. He does have backup nearby if needs be, in the form of Danking. But for the time being, Renegades taking slow, looking to find an opening pick.
Oh my god. And Danking wins.
It's a bait! It's a bait!
Dude, that is insanity. Baiting the shot out of Alistair. I mean, don't get me wrong, it worked like a bait and it looked like a bait, but I am astonished that if that was like the plan from the
It was an unintentional bait, let's be real.
Right, so little Molly to try and flush this ramp player away. He drops himself this smoke. It's a lovely one. Right, gives you this kind of one-way gap down towards ramp. Also means anyone coming up and over has no choice but to sit in the smoke, and you probably spam that if we're being honest. Slowly deals with hats and is ready for Sicko's drop down. Doesn't make dealing with him any easier though, and Inns has double opened on short. All right, Renegades, this is a nice little response here. Rotations arriving now for TYLOO. Nades for the plant. Sicko might be dead. Attacker. Oh, the molly denied him. The lineup going in now, and it will finally deal with Sicko, pulling it back to a 2-on-2 in the retake.
This is very, very winnable here for TYLOO. They got the smoke. They have a kit as well in the hands of Attacker. Some slowly creeping up. A lot of noise being made here by the wall bang, dealing so much damage from Inns, but it's all a bait for Lias, tucked in behind the sandbags. They're not even clearing him. They have no idea where Lias is, and all he has to do is just pounce and pounce. He will indeed. Attacker now, the 1v1, and he's just going to stick it. Inns, he's got to clear this out. He's going to take the shot, finds the kill, and that's going to be Renegade getting on board with the first round.
It's coming down to some very slim margins, isn't it? Man, much akin to the pistol. These A plays just going so back and forth, so down to the wire. And, dude, I got so paranoid because when Lias was tucked in at the sandbags, he could actually see the player up on boost. He could see the barrel of the gun, but clearly just tunnel visioned in on his crosshair, tunnel visioned in on the idea of playing around that defuse, and it almost cost them everything.
It is a bit of a fumble from TYLOO there, right? I think Danking was holding towards short, and he was like, there's no way Inns is so close by. He was just falling for the fact that he was getting wall banged down. But TYLOO, I like this. Reply with aggression of their own. Bented catches a player that's going to be hats to fall, and he has made enough space for himself to fall back to safety on the bomb site. It's an early skirmish towards ramp, and TYLOO coming out on top. Bented being tagged on 38 HP, but is going to be pretty happy with the way that played out. Do expect him to maybe swap weapons with Summer if the opportunity does present itself. And right now for Alistair, though, he's going to try and make a little bit of noise here. Maybe catch slowly, trying to be aggressive, while Renegades are grouping up together, going for this B hit and making no secret of it. Molotov will be deployed. An Attacker He does have backup in the form of Summer, who's slowly going to be creeping on up with an MP9.
Oh, Alistair winning that is pretty nice. Even though it's traded by Bentet, it still keeps pressure over on this A site. And Renegades are still curious enough that they want to come back and try to give Ramp another look. In, don't die to this MP9. Oh no, spammed by it. And so it starts to go really pear-shaped now for Renegades. They kind of got caught, transitioning between the B play back into the A site after Alistair's success. And after losing both players on either side of the map, these two with the bomb are left, like, you know, going into just sites that they no longer have control of. So they kind of get lost. They kind of get buried under the aggression from TYLOO. I'm impressed with this CT side so far. I really am. You know, with the kind of beating that Renegades dealt to TYLOO in map 1, TYLOO's map pick of Inferno, I thought this was a done deal, and TYLOO are very much making me reconsider that sentiment.
I feel like for the CT sides of TYLOO is where they have been historically much better as well, right? Even yesterday, you look at Mirage, sure, IHC kind of had TYLOO's number in Mirage, but you look at Ancient, they knew exactly what they were doing, apart from maybe a couple of rounds which they desperately needed to win. On Inferno today, they never really had a chance to get going, right? They had a pretty rough T side there, and then not really having the economy to put the AWP in the hands of Danking much, and I think Renegades did a very good job just closing out the map as quickly as possible. But TYLOO CT side, again, right, it comes under the comms where you can have like maybe Attacker and Summer play together, Dan can kind of be the float, and I feel like they rely on these pairs to just work together as a unit, as like, you know, multiple units where you just trade efficiently, fall back, just play some textbook Counter-Strike, simple Counter-Strike, and it can work out. Right now, though, this should be round number 5 here for TYLOO. Danking and Summer holding towards mid, and it is going to be Farm City. Summer with a 3K looking for the 4th, but Danking seals it away. Easy little eco. Not an ace, but like a 5 kill between the two of them. And for TYLOO, 5-1, solid start. Solid start for the Chinese Indonesian side.
Dude, it really is. It really is. And of course, they're playing for that slot, that last remaining slot at the major for the Asia Pacific region. Now, you know, you don't have to really worry about slots. Actually, it's very easy for us, folks. We just scan that QR code and you can actually just buy tickets. So, yeah, there's always that way to attend as well. There's still a couple left, so be sure to snatch them up. Going to be one hell of an event.
I've never been to Antwerp.
No, me either. It's a cool, new, exciting location. Exotic, even.
Hey, we got little McDroney drone face. Attacker, also known as the aimbot. I want to argue with that. The guy is insane. He's actually insane. I was watching this Mirage game yesterday against IHC, where it's ridiculous, Harry. Like, it's a 4 versus, I think it's a 4 versus 3, favoring IHC in a B bomb site of Mirage. The bomb's not even planted yet. He runs in alone and kills everyone on the bomb site. And I just look at it, I'm like, is that Attacker? Yes, it's Attacker. Classic Attacker. And right now, he's looking classic as hell. 8-1 for the man, as we see the buy coming in for the side of Renegades. AWP out in the hands of Mr. Alistair. Of course, Danking with a zoom banger as well, looking to find something. Right now, Alistair, though, he knows how they're playing this, right? We have this consistent ram aggression. We have slowly playing towards short, and Danking kind of floating around the sandbags here with the AWP. We haven't really seen too much of a variation from TYLOO yet. They really haven't been tested too much. And Renegades, if they're fortunate enough to find a pick, again, this A-bomb site could be open, but right now, TYLOO seem to have the read. 4 players lie in wait.
Look at this A-lean, man.
No one in B.
Crazy. There's no one B. They've barely got mid. Attacker's kind of like holding for the jump up over construction and occasionally checking that no one's made it elevator. But like, this is next level. What on earth has led to you calling this into the round? They are fully stacked up, ready to fight you at ramp. I love the position out of the site, man. I think it's Summer up here, yeah. Just holding on, Bentet at the cranes. Gonna throw a bit of util in. Flashes himself for the peak, and they all run into Renegades. It's been derailed. Wow. I've not seen a round pan out like that before. They just flash in, they self-flash into ramp, and they peek it with 3 players in a 4-man A stack.
I mean, we just literally saw the drone right before the round played out, and it's almost like TYLOO's like, can we just borrow the drone for just this round and send it through? They read Renegades like parchment, like open parchment. It wasn't even a book, Harry. Absolutely slaughtered. And there's no way Renegades were expecting that, right? There's no way we're expecting TYLOO to have 4 players and even a setup. And they were just holding crossfires, but hold up a second here. Sika getting the kill on the attacker and danking in a bit of an uncomfortable position. He's been seen as well, but he does have backup in the form of Summer, who's not going to miss his shots. There are 2 quick kills. The Tech Knight from Sicko able to find 2, but the danger has quickly been evaded by TYLOO. 7-1.
Dude, Summer's like the spray god as well. I feel like that entire round, he's just holding mouse 1, tracking the 2 dudes who come into the site, flicks back to trade Danking, who's rushed down at the generator with him by a Tech 9. And I mean, dude, that was like so pivotal for Summer to even kind of have an element of control over that very chaotic situation at B. Renegade's going to throw the short smoke, so I'm assuming a bit more of an A lean here again. Lobbing the util up, okay.
I like
Innovative, Alistair. Nice way to get those flashes back in your teammate's hand.
I'm really enjoying it where they're playing Danking, right? We saw him on the B-bomb side the previous round. They make him kind of a float opera, making him unpredictable. And when you have an opera of that caliber, why the hell not Summer? I like him peeking with the flash, spotting a couple of players out, slowly scaling the way towards mid. So TYLOO, they are aware of the potential of this B-split coming in.
Yeah, attacker lines himself up a double. Oh, makes it a 3rd. Not content with just the 2-piece. He wanted to end the whole damn round. Alistair, he was suspicious of the flank. I think it kind of dawned on him, well, why do they have so many at B and mid? It's almost like they knew. And he was right. They did know, thanks to Slowly's aggression down through A. Now, when you see that orb get the kill in the 1v5, you might be anticipating a save. But Alistair has actually gone all the way up A ramp, moving in towards this side of the map. Low HP on Attacker, who's rotating in and hearing this scope. Missed shot for Alistair, though. And Attacker's going to seal the deal with 4 in the round. TYLOO up to 8. This is wild, Blair.
TYLOO are on fire at the moment. Renegades have only won the first gun round. That's it. TYLOO have had their number every single round after that. They haven't even got the bomb down. And what a hole from Attacker here. Finds the first 2, and it just peaks for the 3rd as well. And that is confidence from Attacker. Like, everyone's having a hell of a time. You're talking about stars on this team. Everyone seems to be a star here. Summer, just a bit of a throwback map from him here. 11-2. And now, Renegades is trying to go for a fast hit towards A, but this Incendiary is a flashbang, just keeping them at bay. And TYLOO again slowly. I love this repositioning. I don't think they're going to be expecting this as Summer with a perfect nade dunks hats down 6 feet under.
I do love this caller Slowly. Like, it's pretty intelligent. He knows, you know, you've heard the Tech 9s. They don't have util. And so he's gone, oh, they don't have utility? I'm going to go to that one really annoying spot that you can't clear because you need a Molotov. Ha! And that's how he's playing it. He's just sat here, and the only way they can learn about him is by pushing him. They will run down Danking on short, who's a little slow to pull the trigger on the Tech 9 rush. Slowly goes peeking out, though, and quickly restores normality to the server with 3. It's just like everyone gets a turn multi-killing around, apart from Danking. Everyone else gets a turn multi-killing around.
It's kind of hard to have a spray down with the AWP.
No, right, yeah. I mean, it's forgivable.
He's still 7-6.
I can't help it. He set the bar way too high on the first, like, 2 appearances for TYLOO.
He kind of farmed a bit there against IHC. Sorry, against LFO.
LFO.
But even against IHC, even though TYLOO lost that series 0-2, and as we were talking in the desk earlier today, he was still top fragging for his team, and he was going positive. So, fantastic showing from TYLOO thus far. 12-2 for Summer and Attacker. This is a throwback map, because ever since you started getting these players like Danking, Bentet, Slowly, and a while ago Excret joining this team, you know, Summer and Attacker slowly became kind of like the pillars of the team, rather than being the star players. And this is a bit of a throwback performance coming out from these two, and that's great to see. Maybe not if you're a Renegades fan, because map number 3, if you do see it, Harry, is going to be Mirage. That's an El Clasico map for Oceanic Counter-Strike.
I mean, it's looking pretty good to get us there, you know? Like, I ain't saying this is done. Why on earth would I say that? I know better. But it's certainly a compelling case for TYLOO. 9-1 out towards middle. Renegades trying to run the mid push. Noise made. Missed shot for Dan King. So right now, unpunished in middle. Chance to reconsider. You don't get many of them. They will drop back and look for results elsewhere.
I do like how TYLOO isn't really over-rotating out, right? You could see presence towards mid, you saw a player towards, you know, bottom of B stairs, and it almost feels like Renegades would be telegraphing, you know, they're kind of telegraphing this B split coming in, but TYLOO still content having those 3 players there. Faith in the firepower, in the anchors of this B bomb site. And it looks like indeed it is going to be a B hit coming in. 45 seconds on the clock. The Renegades have a lot of utility to work with. 1 Molotov for the back of site perhaps, or for the back pillar. A multitude of smokes and a lot of flashbangs. But look at Attack's position here.
Yeah, you want to know another problem? Slowly's got all the info at A ramp, and this has kind of taken so long that TYLOO know it's not A, so they're going to start to move bodies over towards B. Attacker's only good for the first, and Dan King is run down. Hats, that's more like it. Doubles down and is even looking for magic number 3 up close to the generator. Summer will get the better of him, and actually the mid timing was just missed. Oh no, they've gone back and dealt with Sicko. Liaz up close, shot in the face. Summer having a hero round on for the triple. Chases Alistair down. That's 1 frag too many. But the trade is immediate. And TYLOO, they keep this coming in, up on a 10 now. Oh, man. That was one of the best chances Renegades have had yet. And if anything, I think TYLOO kind of underplayed their hand over towards B, considering all the info they had at A ramp. And yet still they're able to come up with the goods.
Dude, Hats did everything right. His scaling into that site was perfection, right? He takes care of Attacker. That's a great trade right there. He catches Danking with a bullet on the side of his head, pushes it towards Gen, and the bomb crosses with the flashbang. Everything was perfect from Renegades. They even had the flank taking place, and TYLOO were like, yeah, well, we just got to retake, and we know exactly what you're doing. What a clean retake. What a clean read coming out from all those members of TYLOO. And from a 4v3 favoring Renegades, it came down to 1v3 for Alistair. There was nothing he could do. The bomb just gets planted and the retake is already on. But at least for Renegades, they get the bomb down, bonus money. They will have enough to eke out another pretty decent buy, the op in hands of Alistair. And this time, it looks like the A bomb site is where their affections lie. Some are already the bottom of stairs, and that means TYLOO, they're ready here for this A hit.
Yeah, I mean, once again, already the rotates are coming in for TYLOO, and Slowly is actually in the site trying to fight around the smokes. Now he will get bested by the sword back at ramp. Liaz goes wide around the smokes, but is now in a position where they've got him trapped. He cannot go anywhere, so his teammates kind of need to bail him out, and they're all trying to swing. They're all trying to offer up some assistance to the guy, and they're chased down 1 by 1. Alistair, now alone with the AWP at ramp, is annihilated. TYLOO, what are these retakes? Nothing can stop them. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Just a vulgar display of power from TYLOO. I have nothing else to say. 16-3 for Summer, Attacker 15-3, and the retakes they're so. These are so well thought out. I like Slowly's position. Oh, thankfully, Alistair knew exactly what the play could potentially be. But look at this retake, right? You have Bented that clip with the nade. Actually, sorry, Liaz catches Bented, and we had the flashbang for the player towards short. They're being so clinical, peeking together. Summer from above catches Sicko simultaneously. Attacker catches Liaz, and I'm not a big fan of why Renegades were playing the postman that aggressively, right?
Dude,
maybe they try to go for a smoke diffuse, perhaps.
Is something. Firstly, I think they're trying to help Liaz out because there's no ignoring. He is in a horrible position when he gets trapped. But a part of me just goes like, man, just write that off.
It's
fine.
Just let him
feed
go.
Him to the wolves, feed him to the lions and all that. And make,
the dragon in this case.
And dude, the other thing I'll say, we kind of need a pause for Renegades. And on top of that, they need to start faking out some of these sites. Like maybe take top ramp control, then lean back into a B play. It's too easy for TYLOO right now because wherever you make noise, they just push the other side of the map. They confirm that it's not B in that last round as an example, and so then they full rotate A. It's feeling a little bit one-dimensional. This round is one of the better layups so far for Renegades, right? Where they're taking top ramp. They've already stripped this control away. They made some noise at B, denying that early info, and now they spread themselves out, leaning predominantly towards A, but they've at least denied some of that early information to TYLOO. Now, Summer's still grabbed it from like a late B ramp push, so at this point, TYLOO is starting to realize it is just another one of these A plays. However, they're a little slower on the rotations. They're a little further out of position, and Inz is going to capitalize on that all day long. This is much better for Renegades. It was just better from the offset. The default was nicer, the info was denied, and surely this is one that cannot be retaken by TYLOO.
Surely not, Harry. Surely they don't lose this one, right?
Oh dear.
No, it's not going to happen.
Luckily enough, Dan King is like in T-spawns.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't coming for that. Summer will summon 13
Summer's
HP.
still going for it. It's like, man, it's so tempting though. Come on.
He's going to try and do something here. Oh,
hang on a moment. That's just...
No.
No.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
Goodness.
Never mind. He's just trying to draw them back so they die to the explosion and maybe take away a couple of guns. And yeah, they will indeed take away a couple more guns here. So 11-2, still very, very TYLOO-sided right now on this the second map. Again, reminding everyone tuning in, right? You've seen in the past, you look at all the previous Asian minors, you've seen TYLOO versus Renegades time and time again, but it's always been for the prize money, because by the time they play the grand finals, both the teams have qualified for the major or the major qualifier. This time, it's wholly different. This is the most butt clench, the most intense TYLOO versus Renegades matchup I've ever seen, because the loser goes home. The winner goes to the major.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you struggle to even put into words. I think the best way to put it across is to like talk about examples. Like, just think about Exit, man, and what it meant to him, like getting to the major. You know, it's a very, very similar vibe for a region that's even more underrepresented at the top, right? This is like the biggest stage you get to compete on if you're on these teams, and so it matters just so much.
Oh, they're doing it again. They're doing it again, Harry.
Flashback in towards top ramp. I do like this, dude. It's just a quad A-lean. Now, mid is open, right? And that gap wasn't exploited last time they did this from Renegades. So if they're able to kind of trade evenly here on the ramp fight component and then have this mid lurk, pinch it in late, that's going to be lovely. Inz has got advanced positioning up through the short side. Now kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place. Summer's threading the needle at ramp. Sicko's behind him. It's all getting weird. And Sicko's throwing into a 1-on-3. It's flanks on flanks. And now just one man left at the end. 40 seconds. What on earth is Sicko meant to do?
Sicko mode. We saw him go Sicko mode on Inferno, and now he's got to go above and beyond. However, it's only 6 and 13 right now. 25 seconds. It doesn't have a lot of time to, you know, leg it to the B bomb side. Oh, Danking, his back's turned. His back's turned. He's so sure, but that's okay. Slowly was watching his back, and Sicko will fall. TYLOO, once again, the setup, man, they just don't seem to be ready for it. Although, as you pointed out, that flank coming in from mid could have completely ruined TYLOO's day, but it got a little weird, and TYLOO, even though they have ramp control, they don't stop there. They continue to push in further down the bottom of ramp, and basically just kind of trade efficiently. It got a little weird. It got very weird. Summer here just pushing out the bottom of ramp, catching the player running across, and in the end, Sicko, unfortunately, walking into Slowly's crosshairs. 12-2 for TYLOO. And for Renegades, oh, never mind. Lias gets absolutely dunked by Danking. And Slowly looking to finish this one and make it 13-2.
Oh, nade pull. The timing's kind of... Oh no. Oh, no. Inz literally saw the nade come out. I thought he would have looked, like, just on the trajectory alone, but... Yeah, Slowly flies under the radar and somehow gets away with a double. Bentet's peeking ramp, and I mean, the fate of Renegades here looking sealed at the end of this first half. It's 13-2 to TYLOO. It's just beating back now the other way. Right, obviously, they got dominated on their map pick of Inferno, and they're now trying to do the same to the Renegades. A bit of a taste of their own medicine on this, on Vertigo.
13 opening duels won by TYLOO out of that 15. I mean, sure, it's a CD side, but that was dominant. And I did have my worries, Harry, if they could, you know, kind of forget what transpired in Inferno and mentally reset themselves, because this Renegade squad has way more international experience as a whole, as a 5-man unit. And you're talking about Liaz has way crazy, like major experience, right? Playoffs experience. And for the side of TYLOO, apart from Bentet, and maybe Attacker in summer, you're looking at slowly and danking the first biggest game they've ever played in their careers, already down a map and facing elimination and everyone stepping up. I didn't expect to see this, but TYLOO, they keep surprising me time and time again.
No, I was thoroughly impressed with their info gathering on that CT side. And honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed at the fact that, you know, Renegades didn't really kind of wisen up to that till the final couple of rounds. So, yeah, you know, really impressive TYLOO game. Now, there is this big wrap coming in. TYLOO may be expecting a little too much respect for a pistol round, and ins with the double. They turn, they're fighting, they're getting crunched from the top of ramp as well. Oh, it's claustrophobic down here. Summer, he's on vacation in middle, man. He hasn't had to go through the stress of everyone else down here towards the bottom of B, and now he's got a chance in the clutch, a 1 versus 3.
Oh, this is rough. This is very rough for Summer. He's got no Kevlar, Harry, because he had to go for all the utility. And they're giving him fights, though. He's going to find Sicko. He knows where one is. Looking for the second player as well. Lian's down to 53 HP. Alistair, though, he's got all the health in the world. Just baiting it out. He's got time to work with. That is something that Summer has. Trying to bait out a shot. And Alistair, he's being very patient. And now, look at Liaz repositioning himself. There's no way Summer checks this. He's waiting for something. He's got to drop on down, but Liaz and Alistair to strike in tandem. And Renegades, a much needed pistol round. But is it enough, Harry? I don't know. They're still trailing by 10 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be the problem, right? You can field a phenomenal CT half. All it's going to take is one kind of heroic moment, you know, one big step up from a Summer, from an Attacker, from a Bentet. And suddenly, you know, you're right back to square one. You're going into a third map. So let's get in. Let's strap in for the wild ride that is this attempt at the comeback from Renegades. You just got to take each round as it comes.
It's simple. Just win every round. Just win every round.
Yeah, it's that easy, right?
Yeah,
like, what if we just don't lose rounds, guys? Why has no one thought of it like that?
You basically win 16-13, Liaz. For a moment, though, I thought we were going to be caught napping in hats.
Well, slowly has been caught napping.
Don't go for the knife! There's
Wait,
right
there's
behind
someone
you!
there!
How does he escape? How does he escape from that? Oh, no!
Well, there we go.
I'm on my knees, Harry. How does he get away with that?
What just happened?
I don't know.
Is this what it's like to watch the Asian CS player?
Why do you think I'm a few marbles loose?
How did he get the knife?
I don't know. There was a guy right behind him. You know, I was ready to say, Hats, that's what you get. You get punished. He gets a knife, he gets a shank in, and he turns around and gets the kill.
His teammate is like just watching him get assassinated. Like, man, if only I could do something about this.
Oh, I'm buckled.
Look, there's the replay. There is someone right behind him.
Where is he? It was right behind him.
And to Summer, just watching off from the side going, damn, man.
What was Summer doing?
If only I could intervene, but I can't. You know, he's like a Nat Geo Wild photographer. He's just watching the deer get torn limb from limb going, I could have intervened, but I have to document this. Oh, dear. Okay, well, it's a little bit wild.
Whew. All right.
Renegades onto a fourth. Still a long way to go. And I don't think that one round should take away from just how good this map's been for TYLOO.
All right. All right. We got the guns out. We got the guns out, Harry. We got AK-47s in the hands of TYLOO, 13-4. They know they can close this out as quickly as possible. Great flashbang, though, and Bentet will be found. Now they know Liaz's position. There's no Molotov, though. And Liaz still hugging the pillar, looking for more. And I like how Alice is coming in, making a lot of noise. They want to be potentially expecting the third CT as well, right next to them, which is Sicko, with that MP9. So the smoke, keeping TYLOO at bay. And slowly, they are peeling back from this B bomb side. Losing a man, not quite able to trade. And now Danking, trying to go for the big play, trying to wrap around from middle.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, like much akin to TYLOO's CT sides, Renegades have got one man just jumping A ramp for the info. So they've fully lent B. They've got everyone else here, with the exception of Hats, who was playing for the A side information. This should just be a bit of a mow down, and it's going to be exactly that. Sicko closes it with the kill onto Danking. Yeah, dude, I mean, same critique of TYLOO, really, of what I had of Renegades in that first half. They just need to do better at stripping away this information. We need to see a round where you have someone holding for a B push, someone holding for the mid push. Maybe you go 3, you try to strip away that ramp control. You can even go more over towards A early. Just be cognizant of pushes elsewhere, because Renegades, they get all the info at ramp. They know it's not the A play. That frees up the other 4 players to go and play on the only other position it could be. So, yeah, you know, I think once we get TYLOO stripping away this ramp info as the main focal point, that's when the T side's going to look a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like even though it's still very early days, and we've only seen this one rifle round coming from TYLOO, I feel like Renegades actually had a better approach on the T side, right? We actually had them try to go for a little bit of ramp contestation. We had a player waiting towards the bottom of stairs, and even had a late look towards mid. Unfortunately, TYLOO were able to shut it down, but feels like we did see a little bit more variety. Now, Hats has spotted at least a couple of bodies here down the middle, down ramp. And for TYLOO, just a couple of deegs. Make that 4 deegs, in fact, in Tech 9. They don't really have any utility to work with, so they're hoping for Renegades to just present a body, maybe, for them to just try and group up and take down. But Renegades are playing this one just textbook, not really overfacing, not overcommitting, not stacking. 45 seconds, and on the dot, a flashbang for Hats, actually for Liaz to peer around the corner, finds one, is looking for more, and he's got backup as well. Another flash comes out. This is just some clinical stuff from Renegades, not really overfacing, not giving any fair duels to TYLOO, and not letting those deagles do anything. As I say, that Sicko goes for one, and he gets punished for it.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to struggle to make it any more than that. And why are you going back A? These are the questions we've got to ask ourselves. There's 15 seconds, and they're going to try and run the gauntlet into an A play. Now, you've got to be loud because there's no time. And now you're dead, and they don't even have to fight you. And if anything, you're very happy that Renegades do fight you there. They could have just elected to kill you after time or had you saving deagles. So Renegades actually bailed TYLOO out of their own money getting ruined by deciding to fight. I would have loved to have seen Renegades peel off and engage those players 2 seconds later after time. But, you know, that's kind of that's a very, very, like, slim, you know, small hair to be split in, I guess, as to how that one panned out. It's still a Renegades round.
It's still, and it's also Vertigo, right? When you don't have that much time, you have no control towards A, you're just legging it there, you're going to be giving all the information, and Renegades will be able to even count your footsteps, and they would, of course, stack waiting. Danking spot Alistair right before the smoke blooms. Unfortunately for him, Alistair will manage to make his escape. Alistair's playing a dangerous game. He's rattling off a lot of shots. And TYLOO can triangulate his position even though it's been smoked off. But this is much better, right? Showing the presence towards ramp. Summer waiting for a peek coming from Liaz. Liaz has been pretty aggressive playing towards the back of quad here. And now Liaz, his position, he's been spotted out. And now he needs a little bit of backup. Smoke's there to obscure vision. In the meantime, with a flashbang, keeping the mid play at bay, but Bented's able to trade. Hats able to find another one. It's a back and forth trade here, and Liaz still alive behind the smoke, even though he's been taken down to 23 points of health.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. Danking can't commit to the mid-wrap. He's the guy with the bomb, so he's going to have to rejoin the rest of the gang outside of B. Going quiet here is nice, though. It cuts off a lot of the info that Renegades have. They've had to once again split this defense 1-1-1 between, you know, A, mid, and B. You at least have the synergy, the interplay between the mid player and the B player. But right as I say that, Sicko's left. And it was only Liaz alone. He's now very far removed. This is going to allow TYLOO to get into the site and get this bomb down. Suddenly, Sicko needs to put up numbers. He needs to deliver here. Creeping in through CT. knows that someone's trapped in the site. He's gotten past Dan King. Oh, he's milking it for all he can. Sicko with a double, trying to make it a third. Attacker, the man still to beat. Alistair's now moving in for his chance to win this clutch. Can he convert what Sicko started? Oh, yes he can with the swing. Renegades. Another CT round, the retake works wonders, and Sicko finds and exploits the one gap that was available.
What were TYLOO doing? No one was watching towards the left of Gen, the left of E-Box, what do you want to call it? You had we had Danking with the AWP looking towards the right-hand side. We had, I do believe that was Attacker hugging Gen and looking towards the right-hand side as well. So we were watching the same angle, and no one, I thought the player all the way towards Sandbags was probably covering the cross from the left-hand side, but no one was watching that angle. And again, Sicko, incredible trigger discipline. He could have gone for the first kill, but no. He finds Danking first, and then catches Summer, and in the end, Attacker left in a 1 versus 2. I don't even blame him, but where are the comms there for TYLOO? And it goes back to what we said Ben did say in that HLTV interview, where he said when it comes to these post-man situations, when it comes to this last-minute fights they have to take entering into a bomb site, the comms can and always do get messy, despite the fact that it's these are the 3 Chinese players left live in the server. And I think that's a perfect case of TYLOO's historically, infamously terrible comms.
Yeah, at the worst possible time as well. You know, if you'd won that, Renegades don't really have any money. You know, you're up onto 14.
That was a reset round.
That would have been your chance to very comfortably put yourself onto map point. And instead, you're still competing for a 14th. You know, you're competing versus the Renegades that are believing more and more by the round, and they've got that cushy little advantage of being a map up already.
Riaz has been a problem, and even though he doesn't have too many kills, just the fact that he just finds 1 kill around, right, just stays alive, I think he does a great job. I'm not too sure about that from Inns. It's a 5 versus 3, favoring his side. There's no need to just creep around the smoke around. Just play the ramp, play towards scaffolding, wait for TYLOO to make a play. Instead, he gifts TYLOO a frag. And with that, it's a 4 versus 3. Still an advantage for the Australian side. And Bentet trying to sell a bit of a ruse towards that A-bomb site. And Liaz, though, he's the anchor. He has been instrumental in holding on to this B-bomb set, and he continues to deliver. Finds Summer. The flashbang's a dead giveaway. That is more TYLOO members making the presence felt on his B-bomb site. And Danking, he knows where he is, but Liaz just doesn't face. The Molotov will finally force him out of position, and now they walk into the blender and Hats and Sicko. 2 quick kills, and 13-8 for Renegades. The comeback is truly on right now, Harry.
Dude, I'm so scared for TYLOO. Like, after that first half, I thought this was a lock-in. I thought it was pretty much a done deal. You've got to admire the tenacity on Renegades. And I mean, really, there's so many kind of comparisons that can be drawn between both the CT sides and the T sides in this game. It's pretty wild. There's been so much info. You know, there was that 1 kill in that round from Dan King onto Inns, getting aggro down through ramp. He took like 1 risk, really one of the first risks he's taken. And, you know, even then, they're still able to see it through. Even then, they're still able to convert the round and deny a T-side round to TYLOO. I wouldn't mind seeing a mid to B. Part of me is kind of convinced that could be the answer here for this T-side out of the TYLOO squad. Renegades, very, very often, they're dropping the ramp smoke. They're playing around it. They're trying to deny that early rush and then just playing for the late round info. I think the only gap that ever opens up in a situation like that when you're triple leaning towards a ramp is this mid area is normally a little weaker in the start of rounds, right? You imagine if there was a lot of pace on this and you're running out in towards middle, there's actually only Sicko to beat. And yeah, I know Alistair can get there and help out, but it's still a potential way of cracking the round open. You know, you just haven't had the results here at ramp. They're going to go and push up into this double hold. Now, caught with nades out is Inns. Hats falls as well. Alistair's got to pick up the pieces. Has brought it back into a 3-on-3. And the momentum that TYLOO once possessed has just been sucked out of them on the back of those 2 kills there.
They do have them. They did have the incendiary in the smoke, which they will deploy. And Summer still making his presence felt here. It kind of felt like Danking and Bentet, sorry, an attacker would probably peel back. And attacker just making sure there's no flank taking place has to slow things down. Still a minute on the clock here for TYLOO. For the Renegades players, all three players now grouped up on his A bomb side. And TYLOO, what are they going to do? No utility remaining to be picked off the corpses of the two fallen Renegades members. They do have the rifles, though. Bear in mind, these were just pistols and some Kevlars being purchased by TYLOO. And now they have a couple of AK-47s. They have the A1 as well. Oh, head spotted there by Sicko. And now he knows at least presence here from TYLOO. But time is of the essence. 25 seconds. They need to creep on in. How are they going to cross on over and get the plan? I'm not too sure. They don't really have much time here. The smoke's going to dissipate any moment right now. And Summer just opts to take the fight, which isn't quite the play here. Alistair paranoid about a potential flank taking place. Attacker on the bomb side looking to face, and he will be taken down. That's a bomb down. 7 seconds on the clock. Danking. He's just going to walk on past. Sicko's going to find him. And TYLOO, for a moment there, I felt like they might be able to pull off a miracle. But Renegades, they shut them down. And TYLOO, man, they start to second-guess themselves here.
Look at this round timeline. From 13-2 in the first half, Renegades are now trying to one-up it. They are well on the way to making this comeback happen. And what a comeback it would be. You know, something that we've brought up a decent bit throughout this is the idea that normally, like, this was the game that would take place to you know, end the minor, end the qualifier to the major, whatever it may be. And so, you know, the stakes were pretty low whenever we would normally have TYLOO versus Renegades. Now, it's all on the line. Only one more spot at the major. And Renegades are trying to make it theirs. A 2-round T-side that they're managing to make competitive.
I genuinely thought when Renegades only had 2 rounds in a T-side, I'm like, that's not enough to work with, right? You
like ever. Yeah.
You need a little bit of breathing space. And look, this isn't ancient. I know this can be a little bit CD-sided at times, can Vertigo, but it's not an ancient or maybe train of old,
there
right?
Isn't a map in the pool that exists where this scoreline would have been realistic. Like, even old Nuke, you would have been like, yeah, it's not enough rounds. Like, nearly enough, sure, but not enough. No, it's incredible. And, you know, TYLOO, it's going to really hurt. It's going to start to break you mentally if you don't find a way back in soon. Even just to get your first, even just to get the ball rolling. And they're hoping it can start with this A play, but Alistair's not missing a beat. Kill at the top of ramp goes the way of Ins, and even though Buntet trades, he can't get past the short side up. Alistair building back into this one. Building back better. Renegades up onto 10, now double digits. An attack pause for TYLOO called out.
About time, about damn time to just slow things down and just like think what they're doing right now, because whatever they've tried has not panned out at all. And even when a couple of rounds we've seen from TYLOO, Harry, like we saw the round with the pistols where they get some of these opening picks, they kind of have the side and slow it down. They just slow it down and then it just haphazardly walk into the bomb side. They're not working as a unit. They're not trading. And Renegades are like, yeah, thank you very much, kind sirs. We'll have the round. Thank you.
The thing that kind of concerns me is sometimes with TYLOO, like you see what they're doing, and it maybe like just looks a little dated, for my opinion. And I was thinking, like, well, with Vertigo, this is one of the newer maps, right? You're going to struggle to make this look like it's a couple of years out of sync. And if anything, they kind of are really guilty of that. Like, so many of these rounds are just A-ramp walks, and that used to be how you played Vertigo back when it was first added to the pool. But now there is a bit more room for variation. There are other things you can try. A mid to B is all I've wanted out of this T side.
It's happening.
The entire time TYLOO have been on it. And so it looks like we're about to get that now. You've got the molly for construction. You've got to worry about CT. If you've got a smoke to help you here, would have been great. But they're going to run it dry without that. There's a big gap in middle, but Sicko and Ins are trying their best to plug it. And honestly, that Molotov slows the rush down for TYLOO over construction. It makes it super ugly. They have to start to try and flood CT instead. I always prefer the kind of, you know, mid to B smoke that we've seen teams throw in.
Yep.
I think I'm going to throw out a bit of a weird name here, but I think Ecstatic, they actually have a great mid to B here. The bird from Sky, right? He throws like a mid to B smoke, couples it with a flash, with a deep CT molly to stop someone playing the boosted angle for construction, and then you can flood and pincer that B site. For TYLOO, it gets a bit awkward because they don't have a smoke to nullify CT or elevator, and they mollied construction, so they kind of forced themselves to take the longer ranged fights.
I kind of felt for a moment there they'd probably try going for an A-Wrap, actually, you know, especially with the lack of a smoke. You're like, okay, you're just going to molly off the window and just like head straight through with CD spawn to A, but it was a half buy. TYLOO, now the guns are out again. Not that the guns have really made much of an impact thus far in the second half, because Renegade 13-2. 9 rounds on the trot, back-to-back for the Oceanic side, battling for that major spot. And right now, looking at the, I mean, if you're talking about momentum, it's completely shifted into the other direction, Harry. And for Renegades, 5 rounds, they make it to the major. 5 more rounds.
It's always going to be better to be the team coming back than it is the team getting comeback, right? Ins boosted up and over, but only 1. This is one of the better starts to a round TYLOO have had. Like, they didn't get the opening kill, but they got the trade at least, and that's not something that we've been able to say a hell of a lot. The fact that it's 4-on-4 and they've got this top ramp control is lovely. But now they go back to what they normally do. They slow down. They wait to see if there's a response out of Renegades. I can assure you, Renegades aren't going to go peeking you guys. You've got to go to them. You know, they know what you're doing here. Flashes now go over. They're up past the men in the site. Hats has to go aggro on the short side. He comes back in for even more. And it's only Bentet left. Up and over. And now into the dirt. It's Renegades onto 12. 1 away from tying this game up at 13 all. TYLOO haven't moved a muscle on that scoreboard. Not since the end of the 13-2 half. Right now, everything is coming up Renegades. Not a single T-side round in this second half of play for TYLOO.
This has to be perhaps, look, we've seen 6 days of Counter-Strike so far at the PGL RMR. This might be the most monumental comeback we have witnessed thus far. And you gotta understand, this is for elimination. This game, this map is for making it to the major. And Renegades are like, we are not gonna play Mirage. We're not gonna take it to Mirage. We won the first map, and we're gonna close it out on Vertigo. And TYLOO, I mean, just look at Hansel's face, look at Bentet's face. He looks just frustrated, just lost. And I have to say, TYLOO's coach, Casa, recently departed the team just a couple of months back, if I'm not mistaken. I think almost just a month back. They don't have a coach right now.
Yeah.
And that, you know, sometimes when you call it a tactical timeout, you want an extra pair of eyes coming in. But all right, guys, let's try something different. This is what they're doing, right? And I feel like that's what's lacking here for TYLOO. But, well, no time to ruminate.
I mean,
they just need to go for it here.
They look shell-shocked, don't they? Like, they cannot believe what is happening, right? In every single one of these cameras where we cut back to them, it's just a look of, like, bewilderment almost. You don't believe that this is the same team you 13-2'd in the half. You cannot believe that it's about to be a tie game, but it is. And they haven't had that voice, that extra pair of eyes to weigh in and try keep everyone calm. You know, this is where your hands start trembling. Your heart is racing. There's so much stuff happening that you don't even register just how much pressure you're feeling. You feel numb to it all as it's starting to turn back against you. A 4-on-4. Dan King at least trades this ramp fight. Attacker waiting outside of B. This is actually one of the nicest defaults we've had out of TYLOO yet. It wouldn't surprise me if this ends up becoming a pretty close round. They feign the A play. They deal with the info player at top A, and now they fall back into a B hit. They've got 2 smokes. They've got a Molotov as well. If that goes out towards default, that's going to force Liaz into a fight that he doesn't want to take. So here's the util going in. They burn out quad instead. They see Liaz in the sight. Sicko's come rotating over from middle, and Liaz not moving, not budging, but now has to put up a defense as he's here all alone, flushed out by Attacker. Alistair up close with the orb. Him and Ins fighting to try get themselves to 13. They're on what? A 10-round streak almost? Yeah, a 10-round streak right now, trying to make it 11 to tie this game up in a 2-on-3.
Oh boy.
TYLOO a full stack. This is the weirdest post plant I think I've ever seen. Look at them. It's like an Astralis pistol stack. Buntet's falling to his death because of the flashbang.
No.
Oh no! Don't have this be the undoing. Up close, Alistair swings, Inns gets one, and now they're on the bomb. They're sticking it, Summer. He needs to get them off, but he can't find them through the smoke. We're up to 13. Renegades with a 2-on-3. And
How
they
did
now
they win
tie
that?
up the game at 13 all.
Benton just fell to his death. He didn't even fall off the building. He fell straight into the floor. Oh, you said it, Harry. You said that was the strangest postman you've seen. Two of those players were so very low. That one flashbang, and Benton just...
That is going to haunt you. That is going to haunt you. That is the best spot you've been in, and you literally fall to your death to lose the 3-on-2. I'm not seeing anything like this Vertigo game before, and everything is going in favor of Renegades right now. Even gravity is against TYLOO. Alistair nails the opener, and TYLOO head in the hands. A 4-on-5 now to try and pull back.
11 in a row. 11 in a row from Renegades here. You can see on the top of your screens, they're on fire. They are a blazing inferno right now. Attacker gonna molly off the back pillar. Lias, though, playing on the bomb side, and Attacker is running up. He needs to get this kill, but Lias will be saved by Sicko. Summer with a quick trade, however, finding Lias, and Sicko still holding the line. They know he's all the way towards Jen. Alistair arriving to try and bolster his B bomb side defense. A 3 versus 3. TYLOO with a great opportunity. Smoke will bloom. There we go. Alistair's vision has been cut off, and the bomb will be planted, but slowly the nade is going to find him, and the bomb will not be planted. 33 seconds. A 3v2. Bomb yet to be picked up, and TYLOO looking very uncomfortable.
Summer's up close. He needs to be the savior. He needs to be the guy to step up and deal with this, to contain it. Dan King manages to get out. Summer, one here is not enough. You need more, and he's going to get none. The wraparound as well is dealt with Dan King, and Renegades are now up in the lead at 14-13. It is unbelievable. They want that major. They want to be in attendance. And TYLOO's just another name on the list as far as they're concerned. From 2-13 at the half, they're now in the lead at 14-13. It's unbelievable. It really is the resilience, the tenacity to have pulled this back. And for TYLOO, man, if they weren't checked out before, after that 3v2, after that round there should be no way back in. They should be cooked.
They had opportunities, Harry. They had so many opportunities to close out this game, but every single time something goes wrong. It's a classic case. Oh, I'll get back to it later on. They're going for the contact fight here, and Hats is more than ready, as Benton able to find Hats despite being blinded. You know where his flashes came from, and Lias, the repositioning is perfect. Summer doesn't expect him to be playing in front of the pillar. An Attacker now looking to trade, but Lias, he's been such a demon on his B-bombs, but Attacker, he could find a window to sneak in, but Lias aware of it, but so is Attacker. He turns away. Lias using that smoke to perfection. He doesn't need any help. He's a one-man army, a one-man turret on the B-bomb side. And TYLOO, 2 versus 4. It's looking like it's almost impossible, Harry. Benton at least has a little bit of forward positioning towards the sandbags, but Renegades, they could be expecting this.
Look, man, if anyone was going to try and save the day, if anyone was going to step up, it needs to be this guy. It needs to be Hansel. It needs to be Buntet in this position, right? Mr. Worldwide, the one who's been all over, the one guy who managed to really escape the clutches of Asian CS, now needs to bail them out and try to still carve a path for TYLOO to get to the major. Alistair's blinded on short. The bomb plant is in. Dan King's going to be left fighting up to his own devices here. Bentet's wrapping the short side, but he's doing it quietly, so Dan King needs to stay alive, needs to buy time. Up through short, Alistair holding, and he's been holding it this whole damn time. This fight matters so much, and a missed shot. Dan King in with another. They're off the bomb now, they're pushing in at the top of ramp. Dan King, it's a tag, but it's not the killing blow. Goes back in, Dan King with the clutch, and it's 14-all. The first T-side round for TYLOO comes in. and it's map and match point denied the way of the Renegades. The battle rages on.
They needed that. They needed that from Danking, and he finally delivers. Oh, the final no-scope. The final no-scope as well. I think they had time to go for the defuse if Alistair finds Danking. But TYLOO, a tiny respite. A tiny... There is a pulse. There is still a pulse. But is it enough? We don't know yet. Renegades... The streak has been stopped, but the momentum is still firmly on the side of the Australians. 14-14 TYLOO. They have the bye. And here's the problem here. If Renegades win this round, it's 15-14. TYLOO's money's gone. They're crushed, Harry.
I mean, it's the same case for both teams. That's what's so insane. This round decides who wins Vertigo. Essentially, you know, you can win a 4, sure, but no one wants that. No one wants to be force buying in round 30. And so it's all on the line. The entire last 28 rounds of play have all come down to the result of this round.
Forget whatever transpired in Inferno. Forget Inferno ever happened, right? Like, it comes down to the final 2 rounds here. And TYLOO, they know it. How can they capitalize on the heroics of Danking is the question. He's got the AWP. They have the weaponry to work with. And if you look at Renegade's money, they're in a similar boat as well. Their money is kind of shattered right now because of how close some of those rounds were earlier. MP9 for hats, the M4A1s, not a lot of utility remaining. 35 seconds on the clock. TYLOO once again going for this A hit. All 5 members gathered up, and Danking looking to make contact. He notes the player nearby. Spots the arm. Alistair falls. They still know there could be another player around the corner. Hats, though, able to find one, but the trade is good. It's a 4 versus 3. Danking finds ends about the smoke, and Renegades at the very last hurdle. They seem to be falling apart. It's a 3v2, and the bomb has been planted.
Yeah, if they go for this, they need to win it. Danking, he's been quiet all damn day. It hasn't been the usual performances from this guy. He's waited till round 28, till round 29 to really come alive. Sicko, up the short side does Best Summer. They're on the bomb. They're sticking it. The spray's going to connect. They take him off, but it's a lineup for Sicko. 15 Renegades. They managed to retake a 1v2 to get them onto match point. The Major in their sightlines. Danking doing everything he can. And one man has just stolen it all away. Sicko, take a bow. He was the top performer back on Inferno, and he just won a 1v2 to find 15 for Renegades and save the damn day. Oh my God. Look at Renegades, man. They know the impact of that round. They know how important it is. With the bomb plant, TYLOO, they've at least got guns. They've got something. But is that any match for the confidence on Renegades right now? The elation that they are so close to feeling.
It's A again. It's A again, Harry. Back to back to back, the A hits, right? And they've got so close. They won that 1 round because of Danking. And now once more, the A bomb side is where TYLOO look to be ending up on. Just waiting, biding the time. Waiting for Renegades to utilize all their utility. The flash is going to pop. There's someone nearby. Someone right close by, and it's Hats. And no one's checked him. No one's cleared him. And it's going to find attacker. Bentet spins around with the Galil and finds his head, however. And with that, Inns will peel back a 4 versus 4. Still a minute on the clock to work with for TYLOO.
Oh my God, hang on. Alistair's lining up a flash. Alistair's lining up Inns to take a fight here. Oh, this could be the fight that makes or breaks it for Renegades. And the flash might never even get there if TYLOO peek ahead of it. Now that he is the util, he's after the flash. Inns goes in, and it's only 1. Slowly he's going to trade it. Rotation's now coming through. Sight gets taken by TYLOO. Bomb plant could come in. Is there a nade for it? No, there isn't on the side of Renegades. They can't stop that plant, but they can spam slowly through the smoke. Bentet and Danking, the guys that won the 2v4 in round 28, have now got to win a 2v3 to lock in an overtime for TYLOO. Bentet with a swing on the ramp side, goes fighting, goes hunting, and he's dead, so Danking's got to do it alone. They're on the bomb, but it's just a fake. Baiting the peak. Dan King's counted to 5. He knows they're not sticking it. Damage to Sicko. It's the two clutch kings of their respected teams head to head. And Dan King takes us to overtime. 1v3 goes his way. And we run it back again. Oh my goodness, Blair. Can your heart take any more?
Forget me, how are these guys still handling this game, Harry? 13-2, 30-2 the first half, and a monumental comeback to, at the very end, just stumble a bit, and now we have OT. So basically, whatever happened in this previous 30 rounds don't matter. Nothing matters right now. Now it's all about that OT. First team to win 4 rounds will come out on top. But what a massive clutch from Dan King. The 1v2 at the end, getting the 3K. I do believe he got a 4K in total in that final round as well. He was kind of quiet. You were talking about it in the first half. You're like, everyone's popping off. Dan King's doing nothing. But the 2 rounds they needed came off the back of Dan King.
Yeah, back towards the A plays. Can't say you blame TYLOO. And I mean, dude, this is where everyone's just nervous now. Like, no one is riding a wave of momentum. Everyone's feeling the shakes. Everyone's feeling the nerves. And whoever starts to get this momentum first is going to be riding a real big high in this overtime. Molly to wins, but now they know they've got him trapped. Slowly, he's even working this short side control he's been given. Flash to try and get ins out of there. It's good util to get this player out of the danger zone, out of the little cage they had him trapped in. But Renegades are still a man down, and they're not even sold on the idea of this being an A play.
They're wary, Harry, that TYLOO might switch it up and maybe go for a B, but TYLOO seem to have learned the lessons. They're just going to be going for this A bomb side once more. Attacker, Nade's going to be chunked in, but this time around, it's not slowly planting the bomb, so even though he takes a little bit of damage, the bomb will be planted, the numbers punched in, and the retake is on. Once again, Renegades, man disadvantage. But for TYLOO, they have a player on the bomb side. Attacker hasn't budged yet. He's been seen, and Ince finds him. Smoke as well on the bomb. Sicko finds slowly, and the man advantage that TYLOO has is quickly being swept aside. They're on the bomb. Summer, he's gonna go for the spray. He's gonna whiff it, and Renegade, the 3 versus 4 retake once again. They make it happen. How are they winning these rounds?
Dude, it's insane. Like, I can't. It was competitive. Somehow in a 13-2 the entire second half, and I mean overtime is much the same. I've not seen a game like this, Blair. I really haven't.
You've been in EU for too long,
The
Harry.
Renegades are just giving it all they've got, right? And TYLOO, it looked like they were out of gas. It looked like they were out of any hope. But Dan King has reignited that hope, and so we're keeping it close in overtime, coming down to such thin margins. Alistair, bit of mid-aggro spammed by the ladder player, no less. But now that spam's stopped, Alistair knows he's been given a bit of room over here in middle. Ops, not ideal for it, but he could look to use it. He could look to push. Hats is getting aggro down through the ramp smoke as well. This is pretty ballsy from Hats, and that's one word for it.
He's just biting the smoke, and it's an angle you usually don't go for a spam. You just got to peer around the corner. Waiting for the flashbang to pop from Sicko, but Bented barely flashed, still gets the kill. He said it's a ballsy play. Unfortunately for Hats, it doesn't quite pan out. Still, though, Ince, top of the smoke. The nade's going to deal quite a bit of damage here. Actually, not much. Attacker and slowly barely get chipped. In the meantime, Summer on a bit of an excursion of his own. And once more, you have Liaz. And once again, he has backup in the form of Sicko. Alistair, though, he's all the way towards the ladder with the AWP. What? Oh, no. No way he pulls his flank off. He's got the AWP, Harry!
Yeah, it's going to be weird, and they heard him dropping down, but he's still going. He's still committed to it. Was wondering at the start when he got all this room if we were going to see the flank come in. It's very awkward for Alistair now that they know about the flank, right? It's going to be hard for him to find too much impact. Anything he can accomplish should be celebrated, but will it be enough? Smoke down, he's swinging. Alistair, a second. Now there's a lot of bodies on the other side of this one, and so he's finally put in the dirt. 2 from his wraparound, and he pulled all the attention away from the site, giving more room to his teammates. His death might be in vain though. Dan King locking in the kill on the diffuser, leaves it all on Sicko. Another clutch needed out of this guy. Only this time, TYLOO are not giving him the room. They're not going to line up today. And I mean, these closing moments of rounds so often coming down to Dan King versus Sicko and who can hold their own better in the clutch. Sicko, for the longest time, was winning them. But now it's starting to go back the other way.
You could literally count on one hand how many post plants TYLOO have actually played right. And this is one of them, Harry. Again, some pretty crazy shenanigans from Renegades. I'm not too sure why they want to go for this when it's in OT, right? We saw Hats out in the open, trying to be over-aggressive. Then we saw Alter with the AWP going for that mid-flank. Sure, it panned out. He found Benton, but still some risky maneuvers coming out from the Oceanic side.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of coming with the territory. They feel like they need to take some risks because if you remember, they went on an 11-round streak, and at that point, nothing at A was working. But if you do look at it like round by round, I think it's like, at this point, what, it would be 3 out of the last, let's say, 6 rounds have actually gone the way of TYLOO in these A plays. So they're trying to mix it up a little bit. They're trying to come up with solutions to this while they still have breathing room. Only problem is, no one wants to be trying stuff for the first time in OT, right? That's the scary part here. So I like that they've stopped taking so many risks. They've gone with a different setup at ramp, but one that isn't as aggro. Will this be the answer? The molly means Alistair's got to take nades out. Hats is effectively alone with no one nearby to trade, and Alistair trying to come back through. Oh my God, slowly! What have you done to them? The triple ramp setup is dismantled by just one man. The bomb is going B, and slowly to say he's selling an A fake is one hell of an understatement. Both CTs are here. Both players for Renegades are looking for him. And he's sold them down the river. He's on for the ace. 4 out of 5. And he can't quite deal with the 5th. But he's won TYLOO the round, I guess.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
Oh, bloody hell. And that's now 2 on this T side out of TYLOO. That was all they could manage in regulation. That was all they were able to get. Well, in OT, when there's only 3 rounds to half, they won 2 of them on this T side. That is worrying for Renegades.
The previous 9 rounds, TYLOO have gone to the A bomb site and they've planted the bomb every single time, Harry. And then this one round, they're like, slowly, we wanted to go fake A. We're gonna go B. And when your faker just goes and just eliminates, just dismantles, annihilates that A defense, I mean, that's more than you can really ask for. A huge... Not good, not bad. I would say average, the graphics say. I say slowly was a star in the previous round. He was definitely playing above average, getting a massive 4K. But at the very, very end, the final stages of what could be, TYLOO going home. It looks like TYLOO is starting to come alive. They're learning how to play the post plans, Harry. And now once more, they are back in the lead. And Renegades on the T side. And will their woes continue is a question because their T side was as flat as TYLOO's.
Yeah, the smoke spam to start it is just going to leave such a bad taste in your mouth. Like, you haven't even had a chance to do what you wanted to do in this round yet. Before it's even really began, you've got a man down. And there was nothing the Inns could have done differently to affect the outcome of that one there. 4v5 for Renegades. They wanted it done in 2. They wanted it. They wanted the comeback, but it might all be for naught. They've now got to pull back a 4-on-5 to deny map point to TYLOO. Slowly was flashed into ramp. He didn't see anyone. Now, he's still cognizant that they could be up short, but he shouldn't expect numbers like this. He shouldn't expect so many here. Tucked into this corner, flash goes around, but Hats is still going to nail him. A 4-on-4. Sicko with a tap through the smoke. Nades now start to just rain in fire and brimstone onto the CT player. And Alistair even looking for an angle with the AWP. They're so blind. Dan King with the spam. Alistair's replied with his AWP. It's neck and neck. It's back and forth. He's trying the wall bang again, but this time Alistair's
down again.
An attacker 1v2. Surely can't stop the bomb plant, can't disrupt it. They tap it the first time around. Sicko now with the commit. Attacker's going to go up, going to go over. And Alistair misses his opportunity. Now the 1v1. Attacker so quick in moments like this. I haven't had to see too many clutches out of this guy, but this is his attempt. This is the game in the palm of his hands. The tap on the bomb. Alistair runs into the site. Knows he's got him off. Knows he's not on that defuse anymore. Attacker's lost him. And out through the smoke, it's Alistair. No scoping him down. Renegades take 17 and they tie the game up again.
How can he go so back and forth in a round, Harry? How can he go so back and forth? They get the two openings. Danking lands the wall bag. They get the bomb down, and Attacker brings it up to a 1v1 where Alistair lands a no-scope, walking out of the smoke. I want to see it from his POV because he had no business winning this. Oh, that was quick, Ali. That was so quick. And Renegades, well, they get one on their T side. 17-17. It's tied up all over again. And now Danking looking to take the fight to Renegade. He spots a player. He sticks around a little too much. Alistair, he's waiting for him. He is waiting for him, and Danking is playing with fire, but better sense will prevail. He will fall back slowly, just looking to gather a little bit of information here. Renegades are playing this a little bit more default here, right? You have player towards mid, you have one watching the B halt for a push, and Ali with an AWP, he is feeling fired up, and this is brave.
Dude, that is so close. Still on the angle, still hoping they give him a chance at getting this opener. They're going to start to lean away from A. They're going to start to give it up entirely. That re-smoke for TYLOO isn't actually ideal. It isn't actually as ideal as you might think. It means that slowly now on this jump peak, he knows like when it is ramp, but you kind of want to keep a second player in case they explode through that ramp smoke, which Renegades were never planning to do. They're leaning into a mid to B, something that TYLOO haven't really had to contend with. And unlike when TYLOO attempted this, they've got a smoke to try and make it happen. Stops the molly from Buntet. Now they look to get up and over in towards Con. Oh, Summer's so blind. Hats can't control the spray. What's just happened? Dan King's on the rotation, nailing shots with the AWP. The bomb's out in the open. There's 15 seconds. Alistair entrusts it to a no-scope, and that doesn't help him. TYLOO win the round, and they're the ones arriving on map point first.
What was that from Hats? He had him in his crosshairs. It was as blind as a bat. He had all the time in the world, Harry, but he fired his gun a little too early, dropping down, wasn't quite able to control the recoil, and everything, just like 10 pins, start tumbling down for Renegades. Great reaction from TYLOO, I have to say. I love how Danky just runs in from CT, lands a nice flick shot, bent it as well, keeping them pinned down, pin sit in the window area. I like the idea from Renegades, but yikes! Map point for TYLOO. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. After what we've seen over the course of... It feels like it's been half a day now, Harry.
Dude, it's actually insane. And I'm so glad that this is the map that you got to come cosplay, man. Like, this is...
The one map I cast for the entire RMRs, and I get this banger.
Oh, it's so good. And, like, I think no matter who wins, there's going to be an element of heartbreak here, you know. Difference is, if TYLOO are the ones to do it, it means this score gets settled on Mirage. Renegades doing everything they can to take us to a double overtime affair. A lean towards B early with Inns faking the A play. And I like this. He's dropped that big corridor smoke. That's going to conceal all the info at ramp. This forces TYLOO to keep players over towards A. And now the reaction at B is a lot faster, right? The rest of Renegades start to walk in. They haven't seen Attacker at double, but he gets the info very late and they're so deep up in towards his bomb site. It is a bit worrying that he gets away scot-free in spite of the flashes, in spite of the advanced positioning. And so now he's called for rotations. Renegades, this is grinded to a very awkward hold. They were hoping to have a lot more real estate at this point in the round.
There is a window here for Inns to sneak his way all the way to its window, but Attacker's watching their position. And now, if Bentet pushes up towards mid and replaces Attacker, there we go. If Bentet holds this angle and Attacker can commit towards a B bomb site alongside Summer, this is going to be a nightmare for Renegades to make their way into.
Yeah, smoke's going in, moving up. Renegades pushing up in, well down to there. Oh, hang on a moment. Sicko traded one back. Alistair with the AWP. All right, it's not over till it's over. On the mid lane, Inns has come up big, and it's Dan King, 1 versus 3. Normally the clutch player. Oh, the Deagle brings Sicko out of the round. And man, but Inns on the mid flank denies the clutch, and we go to another overtime. Dan King, so close in the clutch. You couldn't have asked for more. And I mean, credit where credit is due. Inns with the tenacity to challenge him, to take down Dan King while he's in that clutch mindset is something that so many have tried and failed to do. He's able to deliver. We go to another OT. The game that would never end. It's a battle of attrition now as we get deep into this one.
I thought Dan King had that. He just popped into Dan King mode, right? He's like, I'm just going to get Alistair. I got the Deagle. He knew exactly what the second player was. But then, yes, the clutch going the way of Renegades. I've lost track, Harry, of how many clutches have gone back and forth between these two teams. Second OT. Again, for those of you just tuning in, Renegades lead one map in Inferno, and right now in Vertigo, TYLOO are battling, clawing, just hanging on the precipice of defeat to try and stay in the run. You're taking to map number 3, because one of these two teams are going to be going home at the end of the day, and one of them will make it to the major in Antwerp. And TYLOO now, they almost had it, Harry. It was so close, but Renegades, credit to the boys, they never say die as they push in, and Inns avoids the flashbang and slowly will fall, and TYLOO, a man disadvantage with still a minute on the clock. And looking at where the Renegades players are lying in wait, it does look like the B bomb site is where it might be a little bit of action. This is a bit of a ruse towards A, but the remaining members are creeping in. Danking though takes care of it. I don't even know how he hit that shot.
Him through. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, now they're creeping up the ramp into the B site for Renegades. There is nobody here. Attacker is only just moving back into the site, but it's a little late. Uh-oh, he's seen the barrel. Oh, Hats with a quick turnaround has dealt with the incumbent CT, and Liaz follows up onto Buntet. Summer out through construction, dropping into the generator, hoping he can carve a path for TYLOO back into this round. Man down retakes have been their bread and butter. Only this time they're going to go hungry. They're going to save, holding on to the AWP, the M4. It's the best call, but it's going to give over the first T-side round in our second overtime to the Renegades.
This is massive for Renegades, right? One thing we noticed is the CD side on this comeback trade was pristine, but the T side was just like a lack of imagination. They were getting shut down time and time again. They kept going for these A hits and just getting mauled alive by the TYLOO defense. But this time around, they crack it. They crack the code. Great timing on that pincer onto the B bomb set. And TYLOO, yeah, able to only find Inns, which was a kill Danking found, I do believe, at a wall bank to the scaffolding at A. And if they can take away these two guns, this could be huge. But Danking somehow lands a fast scope onto Pat. So they will, he's not missing anything right now, Harry. They will save the AWP and the M4 going into the second round of second OT. But for Renegades, winning the first round on the T side here, that is massive.
Yeah, it really is, man. And, you know, I mean, it all kind of starts with a bit of an uncharacteristic push from slowly down towards the bottom of A, right? So often been this safe pair of hands player. Well, as we get deeper into the overtimes, as TYLOO feel more desperate to try new things, they might make more mistakes like that, take more risks, more chances. And Renegades are going to capitalize on them. Danking, he saw the mid-fight, and a lot of players would just keep holding the angle with the AWP. He's really pushing the boat out, trying to peek his way in. Double nades come over, and actually, he's pretty thankful he was slightly out of position, or else they would have killed him. He gets out at 45 HP, and Renegades leave mid. It's a mutual decision to just concede this territory and go somewhere else.
Alistair, he saw the player just jump spotting towards sandbags. You can see the adaptation coming in from TYLOO towards the B bomb site, but that's not where Renegade's going to be winding up towards. Alistair, so lucky to be alive, just getting tagged down to 32 points of health by Danking is going to continue to rattle off shots, and now they're going to be grouping up together, and he might not be expecting another player. Instead, he walks straight into the waiting arms of Alistair. It's a hug of death, Harry. A 4 versus 5 with 40 seconds on the clock. Renegades are looking to pounce onto this A bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, those are the risks that we talk about, right? The kind of pushes you wouldn't have seen in regulation. Well, now it might decide overtime. Bentet dead after one. Ins, I think he just burnt in his own Molotov. A 2 versus 3. Oh, pushing through is Summer, but Liaz has got his back. He bails out the bomb planter. An attacker is left in the 1v3. With money on the line, his only decision is to save, and even then, this next round is going to have some limitations for TYLOO. At this point, Renegades have set themselves up to go flawless on this T side in perfect fashion, wrecking the money at TYLOO after the first round and really doing a number on it now. There was never a world where Attacker could have even attempted this clutch. If he went for it and died, you would have had players on pistols in the last round of this first half of the second overtime. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it?
It's a bit of a mouthful, Harry. And listen, for Danking, we might have sung his praises thus far. He has been the guy keeping TYLOO not just in the game, but in the tournament. But that was a fatal mistake. A fatal mistake. And this is the thing, right? You play in a region for too long. You're not exposed to playing to like other teams from like EU, from the Americas, even against Renegades. Danking, I don't think he's ever played against this Renegades lineup. And he's like, I'm just going to peek around this angle, and I'm going to find him, and I'm going to win that duel. Not every time, son. And Alistair, that's a lesson. If TYLOO ever loses game, that Dank will probably never forget, and that will hopefully lead him to lead to him becoming a better player. But that's not now. That's later on. And for the time being, Renegades 2 back-to-back on the T side, and that's going to force TYLOO to go for an aggressive play, trying to find Alistair, and they have taken control of ramp, and that is huge for TYLOO.
Yeah, I mean, best reaction to this might just be to rapidly accelerating it to be, right? Because you know that temporarily there's still 2 players dedicated to this wrap round. Alternatively, you throw all that util and now you try to retake ramp room far later in the round. Slowly making this decision to back up and get out of there. I think, you know, this is kind of wisdom beyond his years almost to have conceded this ground and not stick it out. He's not given up this kind of opener into the A play that Renegades were looking for. And now with this jiggle, he sees them, he hears the footsteps, flash to set him up. It is a beautiful flashbang from Bentet and slowly gets away with a lot of damage on the back of it. This was a lovely little wombo combo between the two of them. And with Bentet tucked in at the sandbags, this kill is free. Sicko's not considering it, and neither is Alistair. So TYLOO, they manage 1 CT round, but is that going to be enough?
Someone needs to hold me, Harry, because I'm shaking, man. I'm shaking right now, Harry.
We're both just pacing around this room. It's like a prison yard in here, man.
I'm so red in the face, and it's not even warm inside the room. It's just so butt clench, this game, man. For TYLOO, they know. You can see how... Oh, Danking, he knows. Oh, okay. There's no need to slap yourself, Danking. Stop slapping yourself. It's fine. Couple of mistakes. He knows. It's margins of error here are not in inches, not in millimeters, it's in nanometers. One mistake and it can all come tumbling down. And that's what happened in that one round, right? Just losing their opening duel. And now he knows our T-side hasn't been that great, and Renegades, they're 20-19. They need 2 rounds to close this one out. So for TYLOO, they can't make any mistakes. They can't miss any shots. And Alistair, Ali has been a monster. He's been going toe-to-toe with the AWP of Dankings and is looking to do more.
Yeah, pushed out behind the short smoke. They're peeking under. Oh, I wonder if they can see him. They look so aware. Yeah, slowly seeing something here. He knows the AWP's gone ahead of the short smoke, but that's not going to help him. Alistair still gets him on the smoke fade. Oh, man, this AWP. It's the first nail in TYLOO's coffin, and Alistair's the one to put it there. A 5-on-4 to open up their CT side. TYLOO are now clutching at straws. Anything they can. A stripper, man advantage away. They're going to try and run boost the AWP across. It does mean that Alistair misses that timing on the little gap. Danking Dan King! Oh my goodness! He saw him through it! A taste of Ali's own medicine, perhaps. There's the response. That's the Dan King we need. A little more measured, a little more calculating, and it goes a long way. Bentet, leaving the bottom of ramp, is able to best hats. Oh no! This was a 5-on-4, and it's rapidly turning against the Renegades. Sicko needs a B-hold. He needs something massive, and the molly forces him into attacker. It's only Inns left standing.
It's a 1v2, Harry. It's a 1v2 still. They need to get the bomb down. 15 HP Inns, 52 points of health. He's got no utility. He's got no nade to delay the bomb plan as well. They tap the bomb, expecting a nade being lobbed in, but Inns is going for this, but Bentet clutches it, and with that, he drops a 30 bomb of his own. And TYLOO, they win a belabored round, but they get it done, and all of Dan King spotting Ali through an inch. Even with the X-ray, Harry, I couldn't barely see him.
That is unreal. And dude, I do love that it's like the two players we were really kind of pinning as the titans of TYLOO in Bentet and Dan King over towards a ramp that pull back those two kills to flip the round on its head, and they go about it very intelligently. You know, that aggro mindset, the over-peaking, none of it was present there. It was more calculated. They went about it in a very deceptive way, and it's put them on level pegging with Renegades. Now the AWP fight, I mean, dude, it's a case where both AWPers know that this challenge at ramp decides the outcome of rounds, or at least that's how it's feeling. Try to swing Dan King, he's very, very quick. You know you're lucky to be alive. You know that you don't get that second chance often.
Slowly, Molotov with sandbags. And has already evacuated the premises, and now, slowly, living up to his name, inching forward. In the meantime, Summer, he's trying to keep Liaz busy. And as long as, you know, this nade, it doesn't deal too much of damage, but that's okay. That's going to force Sicko to stay alongside Liaz in case it is going to be a B hit, in case the noise is being made towards the A ramp is all but a ruse. And with 38 seconds, TYLOO, they need to make up their mind. The smokes will be deployed. Molotov towards headshot as well, as the bomb in the back of Bentet will arrive at the bomb site. Early Molotov though, so they will have to go for the... They have to delay the plant rather. They're just waiting for the flames to dissipate. The second molly comes out. 22 seconds on the clock now. They need to get the bomb planted. They have another one, and Bentet burns alive. 17 seconds. Someone needs to get the bomb, but the Molotovs, they keep lobbing it in, and finally, slowly comes charging in. This is chaos. This is madness. And slowly attacking. They're gonna find the fight. There's no time. There's no time to get the bomb down. And Renegades, they're gonna win it based on the time. What?
That is insane! They're rushing the plant so much, so badly, it's so chaotic that they plant it wide, and so the last second run-in from Renegades is enough. Oh my goodness! You've never seen anything like it, and look at this, man. Getting animated now, TYLOO. That comes down to just the utter chaos of that situation. Chaos that Renegades crafted and was only exasperated by TYLOO fumbling the plant time and time again.
Did he not have a smoke, Harry?
It's insanity. And now, you know, it all comes down to this. Do we get another overtime, or do Renegades 2-0 them? They've got an openers. They've got the 4-on-3. Bentet, one of the more experienced voices here, out of the server, gone. Now it's the rest of the gang who need to pick up the pieces. We need to see that vintage Dan King. He's the guy who's going to have to save them. It's not the cold, calculating Bentet. It is the wild stallion of this AWP who's going to have to help get it over the line. Dan King on the short side. Close on the timing, but close isn't what you need. You need results here. A-side smokes getting lined up. Renegades just 3, now 2 kills away from doing it, from 2-0ing TYLOO and going to the major. Slowly in Dan King, they don't realize it yet, but Renegades are fighting them, they're running them down, and there it is, from 13-2 down, Renegades do it, they're going to the major!
It's just incredible stuff from Renegades, man. 13-2 down, Harry. They were 13-2 down with Vertigo, and it takes 2 OTs, but they get it done. And for TYLOO, spare a thought. That game almost broke me, Harry. It almost broke you. And I'm sure right now TYLOO are broken after what they had to go through. They almost had it. Some of those rounds could have gone either way, but Renegades, credit where it's due. The fact that they clawed back, the tenacity on these guys to come back and take that map and close it out 2-0.